Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look in this training module at understanding using filtering function as well as cell hit counts within our VCM Scanner software. We need both of these so that we can plot good data into our table overlays that we create within our scanner software. So let's start to talk about this. First thing we want to do is open up a data log I have provided in our training course folder. This will be a good reference point to see how applying filters and cell hit counts can change how we plot the data in the table. All right, let's take a look at this. So the first thing we're going to do is go up here to open log file, and we're going to go ahead and find that sample log file. I'm going to go to the desktop, go to our training course folder, open this up, and then we're going to move in here to our sample data log files. Let's go all the way down here, and we're going to find that we have this file, all stock driving, 6 gear, 3 to 4,000 RPM, varying throttle angles, and decel back into idle. So it's just a stock sample file that I've logged with our test vehicle here, our 2022 Mach 1. Let's go ahead and open it up. Now in here, we're going to find we have data being populated. The layout that I'm working with here is going to be the layout. If we go to File and we go to Open Layout, we're going to find that we have our layouts in our training course folder. So go here to our VCM Scanner, into our folder, and I am working with here the Gen 3 main layout. So that's what I have loaded in here. Now, it may change a little bit what we see on screen by the time you watch the tutorial and download everything, because I'm still building out a lot of these layouts for the training course as I go. I'm going through each tutorial, but we'll find what we need to look at here for this training module. It still should be relevant. So the first thing I want to talk about is our MAF tuning table right here. We know in our previous tutorial we built one. We saw how that process was going to go. We can see here as I'm going through and panning through the data log here, we're going to find that it's showing me the exact cell position that I'm operating at in my mass airflow table. It's overlaying, in this case, the fuel trim data into the table, and I can use that to make calibrating and tuning changes with my mass airflow. Now, it's really, really important that we have good data coming into this table so that when we're going in and transferring the data over to our mass airflow table, that we don't have outlining data points or just odd values that are getting plotted here. We need to use a filtering function as well as using cell hit counts so that we have more averaging in a cell point so that we have more better plotted data that we can actually make our changes from. So let's go and explore this a little bit, and let's talk about this and how this is going to work. Now, the first thing I want to do is verify, before I go any further, that the mass airflow scale is going to match my calibration file. This particular mass airflow calibration curve does not look correct, so let's go into our graph layouts. Let's go to MAF tuning, and we jump down here to our mass airflow period. I want to verify from my my particular file that this is going to match. Again, I don't think this does. Let's just go ahead and double check that before we go any further. All right, so we have our MAF calibration, MAF airflow versus period table. We can see our table here. This is our period going from 971 up to 83. The table that I have in there does not look like it matches. So let's go and just verify this. Let's go to our row axes. Let's copy the labels. Let's jump back into our scanner real quick, and let's replace what we have here for the period values for what is going to match my MAF curve. All right, so now we see that it should match. It should actually be correct. Okay, so the next thing we're going to take a look at is going to be what we have in our filtering and our cells hit required. That's the focus of this tutorial. So the filtering allows us to use some variable here in a math function to filter out unwanted data plotting. The best example I can give for this, and this is something I use pretty frequently if I'm doing MAF tuning with the Mustangs, is going to be a rate of change in throttle input or actual throttle blade movement. We want to calibrate everything in terms of a mass airflow or even speed density for an F-150. We want to calibrate those in steady state conditions. Now, if we're driving and we're capturing a data log, it's not practical to constantly have a smooth throttle input. So what we can do is actually log information such as our throttle angle. If we look at our logging list here, we have our throttle angle. That's the blade movement in degrees of our throttle body. We can actually say we don't want to see it move more than a certain rate of change in a period of time. And if it does, we could potentially be going into a non-steady state condition, and we can't use the correction from our O2 trims that we're plotting in here. We can see this is our short-term correction plotting in here. We can't use that because it could be chasing an acceleration enrichment event, a non-steady state condition. So instead of us having to be really smooth on the throttle and being very deliberate as we're driving, we can just drive for 20, 30 minutes, and then we can use a filtering function to filter down what we don't want to have plotted. Now, what's nice about this is that we can apply the filtering after we've captured the data log. That's really key here. A lot of people think you need to have the filtering in place before you log. That's not the case. You can actually apply the filtering at any point in time after the data log. You can have it in place when you're logging, or you can apply it later on. So you can capture all the data and then come in here and use the filtering feature and function to do what you want. So let's jump in here real quick. In our Excel spreadsheet for the training course, again, found in our training course folder, I have a specific tab that's going to be labeled filters here. Looking at this, I have a transient throttle filter. This right here, if we click on it, we can copy and paste this formula into the filtering row or the tab in our VCM scanner, and that will filter it down. Let me go and copy this first. Let's go and then paste it into our window.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.